I'm actually a mental health therapist. Previously, I've also worked as a mental health counselor at one of the universities in Karachi. And in my past life, um, I've also been a financial analyst. I used to be in the corporate sector, and then I switched my field to psychotherapy. I had already been working on my own healing and self-awareness for a while. However, there were certain somatic symptoms, or in putting it in lay terms, physical symptoms that I had been experiencing um, due to my deep rooted past traumas that I wasn't able to completely heal. There were, by and large, most importantly, there was this chronic fatigue that I was experiencing, and I would, keep looking it up on the internet, trying to figure out what's really happening, or if it's really, something that, maybe I need to take there's some vitamin deficiency, or what's going on. I got my blood tests done quite a few times. Not saying that doesn't play any role. That definitely plays a role if you're deficient in something. However, there's more to it than just that. So I had this chronic fatigue. I was experiencing various allergies, and then they kept increasing. I had these frequent headaches that I was experiencing. And another major thing that I would notice was that whenever there was something going on, a stressor in my life that would trigger my past trauma, I would instantly go into dissociative state where I would just want to, go and get some sleep. And that was impacting overall my daily functionality. I wasn't able to find my ground and my balance. And when I started to practice TRE, initially there was a lot of resistance that I did notice, where, my body's defense mechanism was like, hey, let's just go and sleep because, that's my go-to mechanism. But then over time, as I kept practicing, these symptoms started to, or these, the sensations started to become more, I started to become more aware of them, and they started to diminish somewhat. And now I have been feeling that I've been feeling very grounded. I've been noticing more of what my body is trying to tell me, the sensations that there are, and I'm more aware of my breath. I used to have a very shallow breath, and I wasn't paying attention to that. And now every time I hold it, I'm like, I need to let it go, and I need to breathe fully through my lungs and through my whole body. You want to drive a car, but you're pushing the accelerator, and at the same time you're also pushing the brake, so the car is not going to move forward. It's just going to, the engine's going to start heating up eventually until you let the brake loose and let it go forward. So that's exactly what I was doing. And I was just heating up my system. I wasn't really letting it to normalize, and I wasn't channeling it, and I wasn't allowing it to be. And with TRE, I've been able to let go of those brakes very, very slowly, finding that fine-tuning balance and letting my car move forward, instead of, pushing the accelerator and the brake at the same time, and not letting it go any further. So, like I said, there were these somatic symptoms that I was experiencing, and now, they have reduced to a great extent, and I'm able to be more present. I'm able to enjoy, it's so tragic if, you step out in nature and, there's sun shining fully bright out there, there's wind, there are plants and greenery around you, birds up in the sky or chirping, and not being able to really connect with them, because how can you connect with the outside world when you're not connected to yourself? So, it's like having an inward outward approach where you're able to connect within and without. So yeah, it's everything is just making more sense now. um, it already was making sense cognitively earlier on. Now it's also making sense physiologically, the nervous system, how everything is so interlinked and integrated. And then especially during COVID, some of my high anxiety clients were really struggling, and being able to practice TRE and becoming so self-aware and grounded in myself, I was able to help them help themselves better, through whether it be certain grounding techniques or breath. And it allowed them to also become more aware and of themselves, what was happening in their body, being able to notice that and connect with themselves.